Hey, what's up, everyone? Ernesto Fuentes here with my first episode of Meet My Gear. Now, for the first piece of gear I want to show off, it's this dark beauty right here, which is a Schecter Hellraiser 7. Now, the cool thing about Schecter is that, well, and I'm gonna give you guys a little history about the company, and that is that it originally started out as a parts manufacturer back in 1976 out of Van Nuys, California. Now, these guys were just making parts for other big name brands. I mean, they made necks, pickups, and what have you for other guitar companies like Gibson and Fender, and they didn't start making guitars until 1979. And after switching ownership to a group of Texan investors during the 1980s, the shop was moved to Dallas, and they just produced a ton of guitars, and they ended up reaching its limit. And next thing you know, in the 1990s, I believe, they switched ownership to a Japanese entrepreneur named Hitasaki Shibuya. I believe that's his name. And he wanted to go back to the roots of Schecter and just being a custom shop. So he moved the shop back to Van Nuys, and they started producing different guitars, and they also started making parts, just like they did back in the day. And then in, I believe, 1998, they introduced the Diamond series, which is a more affordable collection of guitars for budding guitarists. And just the Diamond series alone released a ton of different models, most notably this one right here. Now, this right here is a Hellraiser 7, which I named Lilith. And yes, I actually do have a habit of naming my guitars after women in literature and in pop culture, mostly because, well, one, I believe women are some of the absolute most intriguing characters in whatever sort of fiction or in whatever story you look at, whether it's a TV show, a movie, a book, comics, what have you. Now, I named her Lilith mostly because of just how dark this guitar is. I mean, it's very aggressive, considering it's equipped with EMG 707s. I believe that's what these pickups are. Now, I named her Lilith mostly because I was reading a lot of Mesopotamian mythology when I bought her, and I just thought the whole story about Lilith was just really cool, especially about, just how intriguing the character is. And I mean, you guys could just look it up. It's really, really insane. But the other reason I named her Lilith was because I was also playing Darkstalkers, and Lilith was one of the characters that I really liked using. Right next to Morgan, because Morgan's awesome. So, so now a little bit about this particular guitar. It's got a mahogany body, maple top, this really sweet looking binding, which is what made me fall in love with this guitar. Yes, I am kind of shallow with guitars sometimes, but I mean, who isn't? Considering that a lot of the time, if you want to be a guitarist and you want to play, you just want to look really cool and you want to get noticed. So this perloid, I think it's pearl binding, is just excellent. And it's got a 24 fret neck, which is what I really like. Of course, I mentioned the EMG 707 pickups, which are just, in general, being active pickups, they are very aggressive, very hardcore. I mean, especially if you want to go into metal, this would definitely be like something you would want to get. Rosewood fingerboard, which is what I also like, because I'm a rosewood guy, although mostly I'm more of an ebony guy. But this definitely does well. It's got a neck through body construction, which, the cool thing about a neck through body construction is just that it's a much smoother neck. You can easily just do all sorts of stuff with it. And they call it a neck through body construction because the neck itself goes through the guitar like so, and the wings are usually glued onto the body. And it's got these really sick inlays. Now, let me just show you guys real quick. It's got these really sweet, sick Gothic cross inlays, which is super awesome. That's one of the main reasons why I fell in love with this particular guitar. Not to mention I'm also a huge Tony Iommi fan, being a metalhead and everything, being a metalhead since high school. I've always just loved the Gothic cross inlays. Now, it's got some Grover tuners, which is just a good brand of tuners to play on. So, that's pretty much it. It's just a good bare bones guitar that you could go for if you want to be, a metal player, and you want something affordable without really breaking the bank. I definitely recommend getting a Schecter, mostly because they make amazing guitars. So, and you can always, and of course the newer models are also really great. This right here is more of a discontinued model, so it's just a very, very old model. But the new ones are really, really good. They're made very well. So I highly recommend checking those out. And now I have this guitar tuned to D standard, mostly because, again, being a metal guy, I always like to tune my stuff low, because a lot of my original songs that I've written, are in a lower tuning. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, of course, here's a little demonstration of it. Now I'm gonna switch to a clean channel, and I'm playing on a Blackstar ID core, which I will tell you more about in a later video, in another episode. So here's a demonstration of the clean tone on this guitar. So that's the clean tone on the on my Schecter. Sorry, this weather change is just really messing with my sinuses, so I do apologize in advance. So, of course, these pickups still work, which I'm happy about. So that's the clean tone with some effects that are already on the amp. So now it's time for the fun part, playing it on overdrive, or at the very least just on mid overdrive, which is just more of a crunch channel. So this is it on super crunch, or just a little more distortion, not a whole lot, but just some. So here it goes. that's it on the Super Crunch channel, again with some effects, because I like fiddling around with the ambient effect sound, especially because I'm also a huge Draconian fan, and I just love that atmosphere that they throw in. So that's it on mid overdrive, not a whole lot. So now here it is on a more metal tone. So that was the overdrive on this guitar. As you can see, it's great for just about everything. If you want to go again clean, to make some ambient stuff, or just going through just full balls out overdrive, then this is definitely a good guitar to go with. I mean, you could go with the Omen series, which is just a step below, which is like a couple steps below the Hellraiser series, which also, makes good guitars, and you can probably find them on Reverb or eBay or just any online source for dirt cheap. Or if you want to go the extra mile and go with the Hellraiser, which is also what I recommend doing if you want a good, comfortable, easy playing, bare bones guitar, then I highly suggest going with a Hellraiser. You can go, they started making 8 strings as well. I'm pretty sure they even have a 9-string model if you really want to go crazy on strings. But, either way, go with a Schecter. These guys just are amazing at what they do. So yeah, you could just hop on Reverb or eBay, Guitar Center, like wherever Schecters are sold, or just any online source, and you can definitely find something good. You can definitely find a good Schecter to play on. So yeah, this guitar is definitely one of my main guitars to use because of this particular function. It's got everything I want. A good comfortable body, a nice little belly cut here just to make it easier to play, and pretty comfortable, especially if you're just going to be playing like this. Like if you're just going to be playing sitting down, it just kind of, goes in nicely, and it just feels great. Especially with a fluffy guy like me. But yeah, definitely, man. Just, with the neck just being super smooth, sleek, just the way the strings just go in. I'm an Ernie Ball guy, but that's a whole argument for another day. But yeah, definitely highly suggest it. If you don't want to break the bank with a Gibson or anything else, you could go with Schecters. Highly recommended. So, all right, that's it for the episode. This has been Ernesto Fuentes on EBF Guitar. So be sure to hit like and subscribe, share the video, and feel free to share the video with a friend, or just share any of my videos with friends, family, your dog, cat, whatever. Uh, and again, please hit like and subscribe because that'll mean the world to me. You could also hit the little bell to get notified for any videos that I make. So until then, this is Ernesto Fuentes signing off. Stay awesome, everyone. Stay metal. Yeah!